But first, tea. Hi guys, welcome to Short Skirts and Sarcasm. I am Caroline, and today I'm going to show you my poetry collection. Now, this doesn't include any novels in verse, and which I only have one, and it's Clap When You Land, and I have it on Kindle, so I can't show you anyway. And this also doesn't include the poetry that I have in my parents' garage in California, and I think that is just the collected poems of Rupert Brooke, which I do also have on Kindle, but I also won't be showing you that. And there are possibly also some like children's poetry collections, such as Rat for Lunch. No, it's not. There's a poem called Rat for Lunch, but that's not what the collection is called. The collection is called A Pizza the Size of the Sun. There we go. So my poetry collection lives out here. It's up above the TV where you can't see it, but I'm going to take all the books down and show you. So I will go through all the books in my poetry collection in alphabetical order by title. So the first one is As I Walked Out One Evening by W.H. Auden. Songs, ballads, lullabies, limericks, and other light verse, edited by Edward Mendelsohn. And the spine looks like this. And it is published by Faber and Faber. And as you can see, I have tabbed a favorite, and it is As I Walked Out One Evening, the title poem. And the next one I've got is Beowulf, and this is a really beautiful penguin edition. And I have not read this copy. I have watched a performance of Beowulf in the original, I think it is Middle English. Not sure, but do correct me if I'm wrong, by, I forget what his name is, but it was a performance, and he had a little Celtic harp with him, and it was really beautiful. It had subtitles, so you could tell what was going on. Next up is the complete poetry and selected prose of John Dunn, and this is the Modern Library Classics edition. And it's pretty chunky. As you can see, I've tabbed a fave. It's Holy Sonnet number 10. And we've got another John from the Modern Library Classics collection, John Keats. And I have tabbed a few favorites here as well. And I got this, I think my first year of university, because I went to King's College London and so did Keats. So I thought, obviously, I need to have some of his poems. So I got them. Next up is a collection of poems from the German poet Goethe. And these aren't all of them. They're just the prettiest poems. And I really love the cover. I love the lemons. It looks nice and summery. And I haven't read this. This is going to be true for all of these pretty much. But I do hope to at some point. Another German poet, this is Rainer Maria Rilke, and I've talked about this in a previous video. This was one of the books that I brought with me when I moved to London. And this is a pretty old edition, as you can see. It's got one of those old-timey cloth covers. Next up, this is a newer addition to my poetry collection, Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, with drawings by Edward Gorey, and Edward Gorey is one of my favorite illustrators. And there's also an episode of Stuff You Missed in History class on him, which I will link below, and to say, now a major film. I haven't seen the Cats film. It looks terrifying, and I will pass. Cats are very much like you and me. I also like to take naps and be fed by other people. So I'm actually really excited to read this. Like, as you can see, the illustrations are great. Edward Gorey is a treasure. And I actually got this for Christmas from my boyfriend. Next up, I have On the Beach at Night Alone by Walt Whitman, and it is a Penguin Little Black Classics. And I think these are, yeah, verses from Leaves of Grass. So I don't actually have Leaves of Grass. I haven't read the whole thing. I have read this though, because it's pretty short. It was pretty easy read. As you can see, I've tabbed some faves. I do have other little black classics, but I will include them in my classics video, not my poetry video. Next, I've got the Poetical Works of Longfellow with explanatory notes. And this is a really old edition. Again, you can hear the cloth. And I got this from one of the bookstores on Charing Cross Road. And there were cheaper ones, but I got this one because it was awarded as a school prize for industry to a Nellie Cooper in 1889. And I thought that was wildly cool. And so I got it. And I'm not a huge Longfellow fan. I'm more of a Tennyson girl. That being said, I don't actually have any Tennyson poetry to hand. So maybe I'm not as big of a fan as I think I am. But I thought this edition was gorgeous, and that it was a school prize over 100 years ago was too good to pass up. Another Penguin Classics is the Selected Poems of D.H. Lawrence. And as you can see, this cover is really shiny. But it's still very pretty. I haven't read this. I read Lady Chatterley's Lover, and that put me off D.H. Lawrence for a while. I did not enjoy the writing style. And I have also read some of his short stories. I read them last year and also didn't love them. So it might be a while before I get to this one. And last, this is Set Me on Fire, A Poem for Every Feeling, an anthology by Ella Risberger. So Ella Risberger did not write any of the poems in this collection. She essentially set out to make a poetry collection for people who hate poetry. And this was another Christmas present from my boyfriend. And as you can see, this edition is so beautiful. And I would say I actually have read this one, and I really did enjoy all of these, especially Monica by Hera Lindsey Bird. And this is all about how much the poet hates Monica from Friends. I've never seen Friends, so that doesn't make sense to me. But Ella Risberger has dedicated this collection. Says, for Caroline, who hated poetry first. Now, this Caroline isn't me. I will pretend it is, but it's not me. It is Caroline O'Donoghue, who I've talked about previously. She is an author. She's written Scenes of a Graphic Nature, Promising Young Women, and she has a new YA release coming out, All Our Hidden Gifts. And she also hosts the podcast Sentimental Garbage, which I've talked about before, and Ella Risberger is a recurring guest. So that's it. Round of applause for me for finishing this video. That's all my poetry collections that I have. If I buy any more, I will be sure to tell you.